Due to suggestive adult themes and dialogue, this podcast is intended for adults. In other words, the truth is ugly, so we get ugly right along with it. Everything we say is out of love for ourselves, our people, and our community. Sincerely, the Green Route Podcast.
And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people.
Black people don't hope, we wish. We wish a motherfucker would be in our shit.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.
All right, want to welcome y'all to the Green Route Podcast, episode 26.
26.
We still have 24, 25, so we on 26.
I like it.
We're on 26.
What's up, y'all?
26 is actually my favorite number.
Is it?
Random as hell. But
Yeah, you got to tell us about that.
There's actually no rational reason as to why. I can't think of why. I just always like the number 26.
4 is my favorite, and there's really no... I mean, there's a little bit of reason behind it, but nothing like scientific or anything. Yeah, so. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, I fucked up your intro. Go ahead.
Well, we are back. We are back, and we have some topics that we're gonna hit y'all with, and then of course we're gonna check in with each other and let y'all know what else we got going on.
That's right.
So let's get it started.
Okay, go. All right. So, first topic we have. I know it's not a very American thing to pay attention to, but football, by way of the name soccer.
Yes. Football.
Football. The World Cup is going on right now, the FIFA World Cup, and that's all fine and dandy, right? I think America plays Europe. What is it, next week? And that's supposed to be
England.
Yeah, England next week.
Actually, we already played England. And it tied. I think it was like 0-0 or 1-1.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was tied though. The meme on Twitter was the winner takes 21 Savage.
Oh yeah, he can go. So with that, is there? I don't know anything about football, soccer. So do they play the game again? Do they match again? What happens when it's tied?
No, it's a point system. So if you beat someone if you beat someone, you get X amount of points. If you beat someone by a lot, you get a little more.
Okay.
If you tie even, you get like maybe 2 points. Like it's just, if you lose to them, then you only get like 1 point or something like that.
Each team will get like the same number of points because it tied.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
And so football is more based on the clock rather than like the score.
Yes.
Once
there
the clock is done.
There is no overtime.
Got
There's no none of that. It's like once it's done, that's it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking like in I guess other like more localized. It's like it comes down like penalty kicks. It comes down to like stuff like that.
Yeah. So, but in the World Cup, we just leaving that bitch tied and going on about our lives. Okay, cool. So that's all fun and dandy. But what we actually want to talk to y'all about is the fact that Qatar right now, or Qatar. We got to figure out how to say it. Yeah, Qatar. That's how I grew up saying it. So Qatar, is really being exposed for a lot of human rights violation when it comes to preparing the country, preparing the city, kind of the community wherein they're playing this World Cup for the World Cup. So I'm gonna let Gabe jump in here and kind of give us the background.
It's okay. So FIFA is a conglomerate of people that a lot of like it's a lot of people aren't really familiar of necessarily who makes it up. Like It's not like a bunch of famous people that make it up, but it's a traveling world event. Okay. Every 4 years there is the FIFA World Cup, and they have a different host country every World Cup.
Okay.
So of course we've had Russia hosted it the last time.
That's right. Yeah. I think before that, was it Brazil?
It might have been Brazil before then. Yeah. So right now we're in Qatar.
Okay.
So what we're dealing with right now with Qatar is like Mel was saying, a lot of human rights violations, a lot of issues. So their thing with them, they don't have a lot of, in a sense, low wage workers. They didn't have a lot of low wage workers to actually build up the stadium.
Okay.
So they had to hire outside migrants. So people who are, I mean, of course, like from the region, but just not from that particular area.
Yeah.
So they had to hire out. And to be told, they were in labor camps that looked like I want to say they looked like honestly they look like Holocaust ghettos.
So yeah, because at first the first word that came to mind was prisons, but I don't think I've seen very many prisons look as bad as what these folks were.
Prisons, they might be interchangeable in that sense. Like hundreds of people to specific areas having to like utilize minimal resources, restrooms, shitty restrooms, overflowing pun
intended.
Yes.
Like literally shitty restrooms, y'all.
Having to share kitchens, having to share spaces, having to shower in toilets, wash themselves in toilets. And they spent over $300 billion to build up this area. So it's just like they had the money. They had the money. That's the part that's making it fucked up for me. They had the money. They had plenty of money. First of all, this is an oil nation.
Right, yes,
plenty of money to build up the system or build up the structures, but not enough money to actually pay people legal or I guess. They're like below living wage. Yeah. That's like they were getting paid below living wage.
Yeah, because I saw John Oliver did a really good coverage of that we watched, and they're saying that 150 people to 2 bathrooms, 600 people to 2 kitchens that were just filthy. Like at one point, I promise you, I saw like a family of bugs, crossing a street of tile. They had bed bugs. One of the facilitators for it who talked to the press, they asked him about it. They was like, have you been to the conditions? And he flipped it around on them. He's like, well, have you been? And the dude was like, yeah. First of all, the representative talked about it as if it was fine. Like he was like, oh, it's not, it's decent. Yeah, he said decent conditions.
And then the guy was like, with all due respect, have you seen it? Have you been there? And he was like, well, have you been there? And he was like, well, yes, I actually have. And then
I'm not answering your questions. That was the next thing out of his mouth.
End of the conversation. So overall, summing my point up, world organizations like FIFA, they have to take more responsibility. They have to hold these countries to a higher standard because they legitimately have the power to make people treat people better. Yeah. They have that potential. If they tell a hosting country to jump, most countries will say how high. Yeah. Because they want that. They want that press. They know that the money that it's going to bring.
The travel dollars,
all of that. So it's something that makes them quote unquote look good. Like,
because FIFA has not been covered in great light, like in the last, I would say, decade or so. Between, I remember in Brazil when they had the cup there. There were protests because those folks were like, hey, we're building all of these new facilities, but we can't eat. We don't have food. Like inflation is out of line. And then you have like the women's teams who had to fight for, equal pay because they were like killing the game. Yeah. Remember the American women's team?
Oh, that was during that time. Okay.
Was killing the game. And they were getting paid, come to find out, much, much less, even though they were faring better in the competition than their male counterparts. So, I mean, FIFA could use some good press at this point. And maybe they do start with, hey, we have to make sure that, like, your facilities are built using, like, fair human labor.
Right.
That are at a fair wage with, and to be honest, it's almost worth it to say, like, no, citizens of this country have to put sweat equity into the building, because if you can import migrants like America does all the time, think about our farming industry. Anything we don't really want to do, but that's kind of easy to hide, we're happy to let migrants come over
to do it.
And we'll abuse them.
We're happy to send that labor off to other countries.
100%. And so, I mean, when I saw the video, I was like, this is
migrants. But
this is what we do. We just don't do it for FIFA.
It's just funny how this is everything that happens here in America, or everything that has happened. It's a microcosm of what's happened around the world.
The bigger picture, yeah.
The thing is, these dictators, these terrible people learn from each other. They learn the same techniques to get what they want. Dictators love other dictators. Strong men love other strong men. Again, my last point again, FIFA acts like the mob and the mafia, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting money from these countries.
100%.
If they're getting paid to choose these countries.
There's some type of kickback. I wouldn't be surprised.
So. All right.
Cool. All right. Oh, this one is heartbreaking for me, y'all. Baby girl. How do you say her first name?
Shanquella Robinson.
Yeah. So she goes to Mexico with her quote unquote friends, and I put a strong quote unquote.
Now this isn't political news, but this is some real shit. This is some real talk news.
And it could be political because we've seen how little our country has done because of who it was. So it could be political. So baby girl, she was 20 some odd years old.
Yeah, she was definitely in her 20s.
Okay.
I want to say mid-20s.
So she goes on vacation with her quote unquote friends, and they come back via airplane, and she came back in a body bag in a casket. Mm-hmm. And so what I know so far, and I've actually had a lot of conversations about this around the Thanksgiving table, but what I know so far is that she was apparently traveling with a lot of cash, and so there was this plot to rob her.
I had not heard that. Mm-hmm. I had not heard that.
I'm hearing that she had maybe about 10 stacks on her.
Damn.
Why? I'm not sure, because I do also wonder who goes on vacation with.
Oh, you saying as if it's like impossible.
10,000 cash.
Right.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. So, they apparently plan to rob her. So, they go into the room and catch her off guard.
Her own friends. These
are the people. By the way, I'm also hearing that she paid for the trip. She paid everyone's way. She's a business owner.
This is for sure new news to me because... Okay, go ahead.
So she ran a successful braiding business. So she was doing well. She was an entrepreneur. Her business was growing and booming and all of that. I believe she was from North Carolina somewhere.
Yeah, North Carolina.
And so, so she paid for the trip for her friends. It was another friend's birthday.
Right.
One of the friends on the trip. So they were going there.
Damn, so she...
Yeah, she broke a bag to get them there. And then on top of that, I'm hearing that they planned to rob her. Now, I got this information from the streets of South Central Los Angeles. I'm also hearing that this was payback because someone on the trip believed that Shanquella set their cousin up to be killed years ago. So the video that surfaced, the journalist that got the video, interestingly enough, got it from someone who was in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm. I know it was somebody who was recording the fight.
Yes, who sent it to a family member. So I'm like, oh, families were involved in this. So when I'm hearing that, oh, she may have set my cousin up, it makes me wonder. Like, because I know if I videotaped or recorded a murder or an attempted murder.
Is that how it leaked? Is the question. Is that how it leaked? That video leaked because it wasn't supposed to be. Yeah,
so the journalist was able to get it from someone he knows who knows the person who recorded it and was in the hotel room. So I don't. Of course, a good journalist never reveals their source, so we'll probably never really know who the family member was. But yeah, it is said that, here's this girl, pretty successful, growing in her own right as an entrepreneur, I guess trying to look out for her friends for the weekend because she got it. Mm-hmm. And they set her up to rob her, but now there's talk that it could be much deeper. And
deeper than that?
Even then, so the Mexican police force has issued a warrant for one of the folks on the trip. Not really sure which one yet, but they've issued a warrant. They're telling America, like, hey, we want you to extradite this person to Mexico because it happened here. I also want to point out that authorities in the United States were contacted about this. Mm-hmm. They said, oh, yeah, no, it just kind of sounds like she, partied too hard, died of alcohol poisoning, and kind of let it go. But now all of a sudden they're interested because social media, Black Twitter did what it did.
Twitter did what it did.
And the Mexican authorities are like, nah. Like, we're going to have to work together on this to figure this out. And they've changed her death from femicide to homicide in Mexico, which means it's going to be taken more seriously now.
That is crazy because the other interesting part, the femicide part, Mexico has had an issue with the murders just of women in general.
Absolutely.
So they had declared, like, I don't know the way of, I don't know how state of emergencies work there, but it was something to that effect because so many women were being murdered.
Because of their gender. And that's one thing I found out, that to be considered a femicide, it had to be gender motivated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I didn't know all that information. Or at least, again, this is not proven yet, correct? This is not like proven we don't know
yet.
for sure.
This is categorized more so hearsay.
Hearsay, yep.
But the thing is, coming from where we come from, things happen in ways that we don't understand until we get the details. And when we get the details ain't just usually some, oh, you stepped on my foot, or they did this, or just like, no, it
was something else behind
it. It's sometimes it's just more than just black on black crime.
Yep.
Like, nah. So it was just interesting because, again, her going to, and this is the only point I was really gonna make about it, had more to do with the fact that going on that trip with her friends and just not expecting to come back, and then her friends, I think they came to the funeral. They were at the funeral. They were, quote unquote, somewhat remorseful. I want to say, if that was reported, that they were present, or they at least had communication with the mother, and were remorseful in that sense. And it just was like, they may have just not liked her the whole time. Like, as a collective, they may have just not liked her the whole time. It's like, my only point had more to do with the fact that when you're surrounded by people who don't really fuck with you, a lot of times those jokes, those being, those being, I don't, what's the word? What's the terminology? Being, I can't think of the word. The word is slipping me. But when people are making certain comments and they're meant to be, they're coming off as jokes, and they're just coming off lighter than what they actually are.
Yep.
You gotta be weary of it. I know see people have friendships with each other to where they talk to each other like that. They all like that. But I think for me, I ain't never been comfortable with that kind of environment.
It's like quiet shade. Like,
shade. That's the word I was looking for. People being shady. Yeah. People being, like,
because it's a little bit of truth in every joke, which is why jokes are funny, right? You think about your best comedians, like, the reason we laugh is because you're like, shit, I never thought about that. Okay, but yeah, that's true. So when you think about when people say, oh, how's your little business going?
You put the little in there. Yeah. You put the,
right. Like, when
that's what I'm saying.
When you hear little things like that,
they definitely could have made the little comments for sure prior to. So clearly they just wasn't fucking with her. And it's just like, I think when you're young, truth be told, when you're that young, when you're in your 20s, you can definitely not develop the right idea of what a healthy friendship looks like.
100%.
Like, you can be around people who don't fuck with you, and in your mind that you already have a low standard for what a real friendship looks like, or you just haven't had it enough. Yeah. Like, again, with black folks, I mean, we done lacked mothers, fathers, friendships. We done lacked a lot of stuff just growing up. So it makes sense that we can fall into groups that appear or seem okay, but they're not really okay. Yeah. So that was the main part I took away from that. When
you haven't had the bare minimum, like, anything looks good. So and me and my sister, we actually talked about that when I was home for Thanksgiving. Just, being careful who you're around, especially when you're building something of your own, because like, envy and jealousy is a real thing. Like, I hear. No, I've been on the other side of it, where people just don't see the vision. They don't understand where you're going, and so they'll try to sow negativity into your shit because they're not sure they can do it themselves.
I've been on the side of, I don't think I've ever been jealous or envious of anyone, but I feel like I felt it from people, because I only just identify it now, because I felt energy from people that I was just like, why they act like this towards me? Yep. I really thought we was cool,
and it never makes sense.
It never makes sense, and it's just like, somebody will just throw that in there. Well, man, they might be jealous of you. They might just be envious. Like, you don't understand why they acting like that towards you. If you didn't do anything to make them, you just being you or taking care of, you know. They might just be jealous of how people are responding to you. I'm like, well, be like that. So,
listen, on this show, we try to make real niggas feel like real niggas.
Hey, look, we gonna affirm you in the right way.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna shoot you short. We gonna tell you what's real. For real.
All right, you want to launch us for Trump's return?
All right, Trump is back. So, to be clear here, he was at his resort when he made the announcement. There were he had Secret Servicemen with him. I remember seeing that. I thought it was very interesting, because a lot of the candidates that he backed lost.
Yep.
They lost.
They behaved poorly.
And I was just like, I guess this makes sense to do it now. I'm trying to think like when would be a good time to announce your candidacy. Like, is it like in my mind? What I'm thinking logically is like there was too much press about them losing, specifically the ones who are connected to him. Mm-hmm. So he needs to do something to kind of like take that momentum away.
Because it's early.
It's early. Yeah, it's definitely early to be announcing. But it was just like, let me take their minds off of fact that how I kind of came up short with my people. Yeah. So he announced it. And from what it looks like, the outside looking in, Republicans in general are not, or I guess like mainstream Republicans are distancing themselves from him. Even Fox News to a certain extent. Yeah. So he's announced his candidacy, and the thing about it is, again, he's not looking like the chosen one. Yep. But again, back then when he first ran, he didn't look like the chosen one.
This is true.
Now that he's in the game officially, even if he ends up going against Biden, they're not going to project him to win. But again, they did not project him to win against Hillary, but he won.
Because CNN had me in shambles when the numbers start flipping.
And so we have it's potentially and it's I was going back and forth. I got into a Twitter argument while I was in Mexico, and I was going back and forth. And one thing I learned was that what's happening now with Twitter, this is sort of a segue, but what's happening with Twitter now, or what I've noticed more, is that they'll allow certain tweets that's getting a lot of hits to just like suggest them for you. So I clicked on a tweet thinking it was all part of my regular timeline. So it was something that was said about Biden, and I just thought it was kind of weird. And so I posted. It was like it had to do with like migrants and stuff, and I posted like that DeSantis and Abbott were with human trafficking when they and I just kind of threw it on there. I got hit up every 20 minutes. Somebody was you're wrong, you're an idiot, how is it human trafficking, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, why am I getting so? And I realized that I posted on a conservative comment.
Okay,
it was a conservative comment. So my bringing it back to what I'm saying is this: the situation with Trump is interesting because he still has a large base. He still has people that support him. He still has people on his side. There are people who are out there who are still fighting for him. And we don't know if all he needs is another try. Mm-hmm. Does he need another try? But overall, this is white privilege. This is white male privilege. This is that whole shebang.
Call it what it is.
Again, if the police would have got his ass, the feds would have hit his ass up for the 10,000 crimes.
Boys need to meet him at his door.
If they would have grabbed his ass up a long time ago, he wouldn't be running again. But we gonna see, because the thing about it is, when they do start to attack him, if he does rebuild that base, because they're still there, Trump supporters are still present.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, we gonna see.
Yeah, no, that's real. I mean, he can still hold a rally and that bitch be packed out. So you're 100% right. Yeah. I mean, for me, not only did he return to the presidential campaign, but to fucking Twitter, you know what I mean? And we know that he leveraged Twitter during his presidency. He did. To mobilize his base in a way that was very brilliant. I got to give him that.
Give him that credit.
Yeah, like it was beautifully executed. So for those two things to come back around the same time are just really interesting. And let me point out about this Elon Musk thing. Mm-hmm. So remember Elon Musk tried to back out of the Twitter deal because he was like, 20% of the account to bots. And then he hired some data firms and they were like, actually, it's probably between 5 and 11%.
Right.
So
calm
easy
down.
killer.
Like, you're trying to bring that dollar amount down.
He didn't have 44 billion.
You up in there trying to bargain, trying to haggle with them. Like, it ain't really that tight.
I ain't quite got 44 billion, but
I've been getting for a little lesser.
I'm your boy. So I mean, he's sitting here trying to back out of this deal. So then he, has to go through with the deal as the court of Delaware decided. And goes in with his kitchen sink, fires half the staff, got rid of just about every executive, just fucking
cleaned out the area that deals specifically with content regulation.
Yes, the ethics, the more
part,
yes.
Yeah, like
it's so then he decides, like, the same platform that he said was about 20% bots to run a poll saying, should we reinstate Trump? And I'm thinking to myself, if you truly believe that this platform is 20% bots, this is not a democratic vote, my guy.
This is not the way you want to make that decision.
Probably not.
Probably not.
If 20% of these accounts can be automated to say yay or nay. I mean, if you said it. You said you didn't want to buy the platform for this reason. So it also gets me to thinking about like what that foreshadows. Are we going to start making decisions for our country on Twitter? You know, he's calling this the town square, the country's town square. He wants this to be a place where we can come argue issues out. And I wonder now, like, what this will lead to. What he just did will lead to.
I'll say this. This is my last point on it. I think that what it's going to lead to is for sure more violent rhetoric. Because again, this is a safe space. Everybody's thugging when they on the keypad, keyboard.
MySpace gangsters all day.
All day. So it's probably going to lead to more verbal violence. And truth be told, it's probably going to only lead to more emboldened people who are on that far extreme side. Yeah. So that's what it's going to lead to. Yeah. Yeah. So people like Trump, people who support Trump are going to take full advantage of this.
100%.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene back too on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess out there. But I'll be on there though.
I'm watching. We watching the ghetto. Again, this is now the ghetto. This is the ghetto being tweeterized. So
shit. All right. Oh man. So FTX collapse. So I actually don't know a whole lot about crypto at all. So you're gonna have to school me here.
So let me. I don't. Let me see. Let me go for 3. All right. So I'll say so the FTX, the cryptocurrency implosion. That's what it is. They had one of the basically the system is like this. They created an online currency system that they wanted to be transferable throughout the world. Like again, we have the dollar here. They have the franc somewhere else. They have.
This is the idea of crypto.
Yeah, the idea of crypto is to create a worldwide currency.
Yes. So and it runs on the blockchain. Like
it runs on
blockchain is kind of the pipeline. Crypto is what's in the pipe.
Yes.
Okay. Got
so it connects people across the world. People are able to exchange what they have for crypto. And people really bought into it. Like people legitimately bought into specifically his. Because there are different cryptocurrencies. Right. But FTX was one of the biggest one, if not the biggest one. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to. He's a teacher, so I'm raising my hand. Is this backed by anything? Like, say, the dollar's backed by gold or...
Well, it was backed by loans. So the CEO was able to secure crazy loans just based off of their initial investments. Okay. Like, he was just able to secure loans to back it. I think they gave him that along with just the investors in general, because he had a lot of people who just poured millions of dollars. And basically all he did was take the money that he got and him and his team invested in other things. Okay. So a lot of those other things failed. So when it started with, I'm trying to think there was one person who basically went to pull his money out and he couldn't get it out because this guy had money. And the guy's, I want to say he's in his 20s. So I'm like, y'all entrusted billions of dollars into a 20-year-old to lead this company. What the fuck were y'all expecting? He's like, or at least early 30s. Or at least early 30s.
Look like?
Huh? White dude. Yeah, white dude.
I
black.
Just wanted you to say it
out loud. Nerdy dude. Yeah, that's what he was. But yeah, he was able to finesse. This was the ultimate finesse. Economists are saying that this is the biggest fumble that they've ever seen, in history, to lose so much money in such a short time. Ooh. So his company lost so much money that they was like, historically, they don't think it's ever happened like that.
That's crazy.
So that's why this is like a big deal.
So I want to make sure I got it right. He took the money that investors gave him and invested in other things.
He invested in other things, and
which was supposed to back his crypto.
Was supposed to back it. Supposed to back it because he essentially. I want to say he got too big to back, but I don't know that full story. But yeah, so that's what ended up happening.
So is there any information about like how much people are going to lose?
Billions are gone.
Yeah.
Billions are gone.
So the average American could have bought into this as well.
The average American who did buy into it, who has FTX crypto, is gone. People have invested their homes. People have invested their savings. People put a lot of money into it because there was a lot. People believed in it to this point. One of the stadiums was named after one of the football stadiums was FTX Arena. You see what I'm saying? Like,
wow,
they legitimately had pulled. They definitely were putting the money out there. They were investing in large ventures. People were really believing in them. We have my boy from the Golden State, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He was one of the early investors. I want to say David Beckham. Like, it was like he had like some big people who were really like invested in supporting.
Is this the Kim Kardashian one too, where there's like a class action lawsuit against the celebrities?
I don't know if she was included in this one, but it might be. But yeah, so that's what ended up happening. So
wow,
yeah.
Shit, y'all, like these financial crises are just big transfers of wealth. I just want
billions of dollars. That money somewhere.
Oh yeah,
that money is somewhere.
Somebody cashed out already. Yeah,
somebody they invested it. Some of the money was invested. And the thing is, he got on Twitter. He was apologizing. He was like, "I'm so sorry. I really fucked up." Like, he really said that.
Wow,
he really said that. And I was just like, I mean,
is he gonna get time?
At least you're telling people. Well, they're investigating him now.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure he is.
Oof, good God. Can I say about Kari Lake real quick? She looked like a Delta from Howard. Is that woman black?
Somebody said she like a K from Howard. Like, she was HBC, like she a K from Spelman or something.
Like, sis, are you sis?
Okay, so somebody was trying to put two and two together. They was like, her daddy named Larry.
Come on, Larry.
Her something else. It was
I don't know no white Larrys.
They was putting some things together to be like, she might be like a Creole, like a Louisiana
she
girl,
can pass.
like basically. She can definitely pass.
Yeah.
The thing is, nobody fully knows. Like, I don't think I found any piece of information to confirm her identity, like that she is, or her even identifying as something. Her, I ain't really.
That woman looks like
in one of her videos, one of her videos, she was like, oh, I'm just a small town girl raised with a bunch of brothers and sisters. There's a picture, and in this picture, her brothers and sisters look white, or they look bright skinned, like they just like a bright skinned clan, but more so they look white. But the thing about it is, it was some promo shit. So I was just like, I don't know. Like, if these pictures were blurred or not clear, like, I don't know. I just was like, I don't know. I guess because the question had been posed about her color. I had heard that question and then I saw that.
Yeah.
So it just made me like question everything about this video that she was putting out to, get people to vote for her.
Yeah.
So
it makes me wonder, y'all, if y'all have not looked up, just go look at pictures or videos of Kari Lake. Mm-hmm. And especially if you are of our hue, you gonna see one of your Louisiana cousins in her. She look like my Baton Rouge folks. I'm not gonna even. That girl look Creole as hell.
I'm like, that is not a perfect tan.
Right. It don't work like that, baby girl.
No, that tan look good.
The face, like the jaws.
That tan look good.
No, you got cheekbones. You got Janet Jackson fucking cheekbones.
Nah, we don't know.
Anyway, we're not supposed to be talking about this woman being black, Kari. We're supposed to be talking about election results.
The fact that, so she hasn't conceded yet. She hasn't come out to tell people like, hey, I'm giving it up. She hasn't conceded yet. There was a rally though on her behalf.
Okay.
All 12 of those people showed up and they were picketing.
Appreciate y'all.
They
had signs.
They had signs.
Okay.
We
should have took them some snacks. It wouldn't have cost as much.
It wouldn't have cost nothing. 12 people getting 12 snack cakes. So
bean and cheese burritos.
So she's questioning the results, but it's just one of those things where it's just like she was backed by Trump. So it's like you have people like her, and you kind of can see right through them. And you just glad that, because most of the time, like we would think that people can see right through Trump, but they can't. But this was a situation where honestly, she hadn't put in enough work to be picked. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or for people to like, I think that's what it was. Because Arizona's one of those. I want to say, isn't it a toss-up state?
Yes, it's become a swing state.
It's become a swing state. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So So sorry, Kari. You should have came more correct.
Tell us who you really are, Kari.
For real.
Herschel Walker, this guy. So going to a runoff with Reverend Warnock. And when is the runoff? Is it December?
December.
Okay.
Well, people can vote now. People already vote now.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, we're hoping that, Herschel Walker finds some business that minds him, and we're kind of hoping that Warnock can pick up that progressive vote, sweep those in. So yeah, but the fact that it's this close reminded me of Biden and Trump. Like, I remember, after January 6th and thinking like, no, these people are going to see it for what it is now.
Right.
They're going to see it. And then to watch the election
see the
that
performance.
night. To watch it and how close those numbers were. Like, you're telling me that still almost 50% of our country thinks that this man is okay. And so I saw similar with Herschel Walker, like, of all the things that have come out about him paying for these abortions and, not being who he said he was and fucking pulling out props, during debates, still almost half of that state was just like, yeah, that's okay.
That's my man.
That's still fine.
My guy. It's somebody had pointed out, like, when they were pointing out the just the statistics behind it, they were like, the majority of evangelical Christians didn't vote for the preacher. They voted for the person who actually had abortions. Yeah. Like,
that's crazy.
That is very crazy. It just goes to show that it's really, like, when they talk that shit about, oh, we need to have religion, God needs to be leading this nation, like, that's not what you actually mean. That's not really what you mean, because if you really were for godliness, we know that at least in that particular section, how y'all should have voted.
We'd have gun laws if you were for godliness.
If y'all were for godliness, Warnock would easily be the winner. We'd have better gun laws. Because we would actually prioritize lives.
The homeless thing
money.
wouldn't be a thing.
The homeless thing wouldn't be a thing.
We wouldn't be pushing prescription drugs on people.
Exactly.
Like, if y'all were truly Christians, at least the Jesus I learned about growing up.
If y'all were, go ahead. If
they were truly Christians, like, they would be followers of Christ. And if you learn anything about Jesus, is that he was one of the most gracious, merciful, characters that we've ever learned about. So when I see our people on the streets, like, us bombing countries because the fuck we can,
us turning away migrants when the Bible explicitly says to not turn those people away.
Imagine if they actually did the things that, like, Jesus said they should do. I said this
many podcasts ago. I said that the Republicans would definitely have a better chance at any election fight if they actually just did what the Bible tells them to do.
That's right.
So
yeah.
So we're gonna go and check in.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. GS and I were having a conversation about just prioritizing the things that are important, and so that's kind of what I spent my Thanksgiving thinking about. Number one, being very grateful for all the moments that led up to these moments that I have now. Like,
happy holidays, everybody. If you celebrate, if you don't celebrate,
Look, and let's be clear that on Thanksgiving, my family is more so about let's get together and eat food.
Yes.
And we do recognize our indigenous brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
And understand that
there was no Thanksgiving at the original Thanksgiving.
That's right.
It was all a lie.
Yeah.
If anything, it was Native Americans saving thirsty, hungry.
That's right.
White settlers.
That's right.
So.
Yep. So.
Invaders, my bad.
Invaders,
yeah. That's what they call these. That's what Invasion Act. That's what they on right now with the migrants. Invaders. They were invaders.
Unbelievable.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
So no, yeah. I mean, I want to point that out because I did say Happy Thanksgiving, but I do want to let you know that as for me and my house, that's where we stand. Yes. So yeah, just been thinking a lot about like prioritizing. So really trying to cut out the bullshit. Anything that's not serving me or serving this show and
Real
where
talk.
we're taking it. Just cutting that out. So that's been an interesting exercise, but all in all, good. And I'm trying to make sure I don't get sick. I hear it's going to be a bad winter, like three pandemics, I believe.
Oh, Jesus. They're going to have, it's going to be COVID, of course, and then flu.
Yep.
And then the RSV. RSV, yeah. So, y'all, yeah.
It's my cousin's little boy, my I guess second cousin, He was hospitalized with RSV, but he's out of the hospital now.
Good.
So, but yeah, like y'all, it's real out here. And now COVID didn't really affect the kids like that, but that RSV is on
It's
them.
hitting kids for sure.
It's on them. So please take care of yourselves. I don't know if y'all vax. I do because I have active asthma. So I try to protect myself as much as possible. But if you don't vax, juice, eat a healthy diet, work out, drink all that spring water. Yeah. Get you some sunlight when you can.
Don't be like, I ain't taking that vaccine, but you eating pork rinds.
That's right.
Pork chitlins.
That's right.
And
if you don't take the vaccine, then give your body the best fighting chance that it has by just getting cleaned up. So yeah, that's where I am. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I just came back from Mexico, so I got a little tan and shit. I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? I have my shirt off.
You a little golden
over
here,
baby. I gotta glisten, baby. Gotta glisten. But yeah, it was good. Mexico was good. I was out there for a while. Nice little vacation. Saw a wedding as well. One of my fellow UT alum brothers.
Fantastic.
Shout out to Chelsea and Andrew. Black love. They look good. Yes. Walking on that sandy beach. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful scene. I didn't intend to vacation for this long.
Mm-hmm. You was gone.
I felt like I was gone. I was gone. Like I feel like I was gone. If y'all know me, y'all know like I like to get shit done. So anything taking me away from there, I be like, sometimes it's hard for me to vacation because I'm thinking about things I need to do. Mm-hmm. But all in all, it was a great vacation, and now I'm back here getting back to it.
That's right.
So.
Back at it. Well, yeah, I'm glad you had a good vacation.
Yeah.
And no, I'm with you. Like, what Nip say, gotta cross my T's and dot my I's or I can't sleep well. Like that's
real.
It's a real thing. So
that's real.
Even when you vacation, when you like, you don't have a steady paycheck, it's like, oh no, y'all taking shots. I need to upload this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't plan on I don't plan on taking any vacations for at least another 2 years.
Yeah.
Another 2 years.
It kind of needs to.
I'm ready to get to it.
That's real. I'm with them there, y'all. So look for more shit from us. Promise.
Let's do it. I'm back and I'm better now.
Yeah.
No strings.
Okay. Nope.
I was just joking. I was just clowning. Nah, I can be more. I'm gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to just getting back and getting to it.
I love it.
I didn't mean it like that. Don't be so saying like that. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. We're gonna get off this.
Yeah, let's get off these damn mics. Go take this Theraflu.
All right, y'all.
Benediction.
So, just reflecting on everything that we've discussed. I think we need to, for one, watch our friends. Mm-hmm. That's one. Watch our friends, because the ones who are terrible for us, if we don't stop them, they will make a return to candidacy.
Absolutely.
2024.
Yeah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't do shit about it, it's gonna happen. So
call that bullshit out immediately.
Yes. So invest your time, energy, and money wisely, or else it will be spent somewhere else. And then when you try to take back what you need, when you're trying to think about what you need to get back for what you done gave, they can't even give it to you.
Got it.
They can't even give it. Only they can bring you stress. That's all they can bring you stress. So let's take care of ourselves, take care of our families, take care of our communities, all of that. And we happy to be back.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe.
Let me get my boy off this mic.
All right, y'all.
Night.
Peace.
Sunshine, sunshine, tell me where you are. 'Cause I need you to get me through my life.